Hi everybody, Virginia here from the Bishop Museum of Science and Nature. And today, I'd like to share with you some tips on how to help manatees out in the wild. I think most folks know that we are a second stage rehabilitation facility for manatees. So they get injured, ill, and orphaned in the wild. They're rescued, they'll go to a hospital. The hospitals treat the manatees, hopefully help them recover, and then they can be returned to the wild. In our case, we accept manatees that are recovered, but maybe can't go out immediately. Maybe they need to gain some weight. Maybe the environmental conditions for release just aren't right, like there's red tide out there and they can't go out just yet. So when they come here, hopefully what we're doing is helping them gain some weight, helping them maintain natural behavior. If they're young animals and they don't know some things about the wild, we're teaching them those things. But one of our big roles, and our biggest role, is we help the hospitals maintain space. We don't want them to reach capacity. We want them to always be able to take manatees. So that's our role. And the tips that I share with you today could help you guys do that too. You can help us keep manatees out of hospitals by following a few simple thoughts and ideas about what to do in the wild with manatees living out there. And obviously, we know manatees get hit by boats. So a lot of these are going to apply to being out on a boat, if you're a boater, or if you're just someone just going out on a boat trip. So one of the first things you can do is when you're out on the waterways, look for signs that say slow speed or no wake zones. Those are areas that manatees frequent. Manatees live pretty shallow, and that's often how they can end up encountering boats. If you give them some time, if you're speeding on your boat and you speed through an area, it gives them a little less time to get out of your way. If you slow your boat down, that helps manatees avoid boats and maybe get out of the way, and keeps them from getting hit and injured. Something else you can do while you're out on your boat is wear some sunglasses, and not just any sunglasses, but some polarized sunglasses. So polarized sunglasses help cut the glare off in the water from the sun, lets you see better. If you ever put a pair on, you can do this, and then you can do this. You can do this, and then you can do this. And you can really see the difference. It'll let you see manatees better. They're gray blobs in the water, but hopefully you put on a pair of sunglasses, you're going slow in your boat, and you can see them better. You can also look out for their little noses when they come up and take a breath, and if they're moving enough and they use their tail paddle, you might see a footprint in the water too. So watch for all those things when you're out there, so you can avoid encountering manatees in your boat in a bad way, which is obviously impact or propeller contact. Some other stuff you can do is to keep your trash on your boat, or if you're at the beach, take your trash with you or put it in a trash can. Don't throw trash in the water, and don't leave trash on the beaches. Tides come in and they'll pull it all out too. So just keep a bag with you and bring your trash in and throw it in a trash can when you get back to shore. Help keep our waterways nice and clean. If you are a fisherman, or if you're just by the water and you see fishing line, you should always try and recycle it. And right next to me is a monofilament or fishing line recycling bin. These are around docks, they're near beaches, anywhere where people are going to fish, which is pretty much everywhere in Florida, that you can recycle your monofilament here. If you're just out there and you find fishing line, look for a bin and recycle it too. Because here, I have some fishing line. Is it hard for you to see this line? Yeah, it's because it's clear, and it's hard for manatees and other animals to see it too. So not only do they get entangled in this, say you're eating and there's some fishing line in your food, manatees like to use their little pecks to eat, and while they're doing that, if there's fishing line in there, it may get wrapped up around their pecks, and it can cut off circulation, and manatees can actually lose a flipper because of an entanglement. But the other thing it does is, because it's invisible, they can indiscriminately ingest it. They don't know it's there. They eat it, and they just keep eating it. And they've got a big long line of it, and they keep eating it. And that can cause an obstruction, which obviously can be very problematic for manatees too. So definitely recycle your monofilament or fishing line and look for these by the water. It's really easy. Something else you can do, which is another important one, is if you see an injured manatee, call this number. So this is the Manatee Hotline. It's also for all injured wildlife. I'm going to bring it closer. 1-888-404-FWCC. Those folks will get the calls about manatees. They'll go out and check out the manatee. If it needs to be rescued, then they can rescue it. So the sooner you can call, the better it is obviously for the manatee, because then we can get them in and the hospitals can treat them sooner than later. The longer they go with an injury or being sick out there, the worse it is for them, and harder for them to survive. So the sooner you can contact them and call in, you should do that. So again, there's the number for you to call in. I had a little glare there. If you had your Polarized sunglasses on, you might have been able to see it. But there, I fixed it. Okay, so that's the number. And then something else you can do, if you're not someone who is by the water, you're not a boater, you don't fish, just in general, you can get a manatee license plate. The license plate money goes to our manatee program here in Florida, our rescue and recovery program. So when you see all those license plates out there, those are big supporters of manatees, so you can get that manatee ID plate. And then the last thing I'll say that you can do, because a lot of people want to do a little bit more, maybe you want to donate some money to somebody. There are hospitals, there are facilities like us, a lot of nonprofits that whatever you do walking through our front door helps contribute to this program. So buying a membership or just coming to visit one of the hospitals or the Bishop Museum of Science and Nature can help contribute to our program. You can also look for the help us with tagging our manatees by going to manateerescue.org, and that helps all the ocean area and organizations that are involved with manatee rehabilitation. If you donate to that too, it helps us tag our manatees and track them once they're released back to the wild. So many things you can do, physical things. If you want to donate, you can do that too. But whatever you do, we appreciate. We all do what we do for manatees because of people like you, folks who really care and love manatees. So we do our work, but you can definitely do things to help keep manatees out of hospitals, help support our program. And I hope that this information has really helped you out, and that you feel good and you can go out there and you can get going on helping manatees out in the wild. Thanks.